Lawmakers return to Washington for an unprecedented lame duck period. President Trump refusing to concede. Instead, he's reportedly considering holding campaign-style rallies centered around his unproven claims of voter fraud. The federal agency that must certify Biden as the winner to allow his team access to taxpayer money during the transition released a statement about the election, saying an ascertainment has not yet been made. Some of the president's supporters are standing by his unfounded claims of fraud.
So you look in Pennsylvania, dead people voted in Pennsylvania. So, George, I don't know how widespread it is. I don't know if it'll change the outcome of the election.
A claim that 21,000 deceased people voted in Pennsylvania first spread online last week when the president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, shared an article in a far-right publication about the allegations detailed in a lawsuit filed by a legal group. In a recent ruling, the judge in that case, sounding doubtful about the claims, wrote, "We cannot and will not take plaintiff's word for it. In an election where every vote matters, we will not disenfranchise potentially eligible voters based solely upon the allegations of a private foundation." The president's lawyers expect to launch more legal challenges this week in hopes of taking their fight to the Supreme Court.
Pfizer and partner BioNTech announced their experimental coronavirus vaccine is more than 90% effective. The news was welcomed by President-elect Biden and at the White House. The two companies worked on the drug without any money from Operation Warp Speed.
The Trump administration is misleadingly taking credit for the news today from Pfizer that its vaccine is more than 90% effective in trial. Vice President Pence tweeting the news from Pfizer is, quote, "Thanks to the public-private partnership forged by President Trump." The federal government did not help fund Pfizer's vaccine development, as it has for other companies like Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, and AstraZeneca. Pfizer does have an agreement with the federal government to distribute doses of its vaccine should it prove effective and get approval from the FDA.
Two runoff elections in Georgia could decide which party takes control of the U.S. Senate. Incumbent Republican David Perdue did not get the 50% of votes needed to clinch this race against Jon Ossoff, and the candidates in a special election also failed to meet the threshold. So Senator Kelly Loeffler will face off against Democrat Raphael Warnock. Campaign contributions are expected to pour in from across the country. Georgia hasn't elected a Democratic senator in 20 years, and wins for Republicans would secure their majority in the Senate.
The number of people hospitalized with the virus is going up in 43 states so far. More than 237,000 deaths are blamed on COVID-19, and the U.S. is closing in on nearly 10 million cases. The U.S. reported more than 126,000 positive cases on Saturday alone, and data from 20 states shows virus cases in nursing homes nearly quadrupling from late May through last month. Also, there's a new outbreak at the White House. Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and at least 5 others have tested positive.
I am placing the entire state of Utah under a mask mandate.
In Utah, the governor's issuing a state of emergency, while Wisconsin saw more than 100 newly admitted patients Sunday alone. And in Indiana, officials are now calling for retired healthcare workers to relieve overworked staff in hospitals and nursing homes.
The first passengers aboard the Virgin Hyperloop, a high-speed levitating transport system. 2 employees hurtling through a vacuum tube at more than 100 miles an hour. The company's test site in Las Vegas. Developers hoping to transform transportation.
That was awesome.
The loss of iconic Jeopardy host Alex Trebek.
His last day in the studio was just 11 days ago, as he recorded episodes that will be shown for the rest of the year. His death from pancreatic cancer at 80 has saddened millions.
For 37 years as host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek wanted to make the show about its stars, the contestants. Born in Canada in 1940, George Alexander Trebek started out professionally as an announcer for the Canadian Broadcasting System.
This is Jeopardy!
In 1984, he was picked to host a revived version of Jeopardy and never looked back. For the next 3.5 decades and more than 8,000 shows, he became such a respected referee and personality that even the parodies were basically kind to him.
Welcome to Celebrity Jeopardy!
Last year, Trebek first shared the somber news.
This week, I was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
He quickly became an advocate for early detection. He died surrounded by family at 80 years old.
Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z, and here's an update on Eta. So it made landfall in the Florida Keys and then brought heavy rains to much of South Florida. Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood area up to 11 inches, so just short of a foot. And it's not done yet. It is still going to be raining and still gusty, which we saw 40 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts as this approached over the weekend. Now it's going to be pulling away, and this is the 12th landfalling storm of the season in the United States. We have not done that ever in recorded history. It's the 12th hurricane of the season as well, which has only been done twice before. There are flood watches, flash flood warnings as these bands stick around for much of today. I think we could see another 3, 4, maybe even 5 inches. But as that storm starts to kind of head out into the Gulf and interact with some of the currents, we could even see it strengthen. And it is going to chill in the Gulf of Mexico through most of this week. And so you could still see some spit out from it. But I think it does not get close again until end of the week through the weekend. And here's what's the concern is it will start to get sheared out and squeezed, which is good because it kind of kills the wind, but the rain, right? So you could end up with another half foot or so in North Florida, right along the state line of Georgia, so Charleston down through, say, Tallahassee and right down to Jacksonville. Just keep an eye on this as we go toward the weekend. It'll get a bit more fine-tuned, and we will keep you updated.
That's all for today, and remember to subscribe to our channel, like and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.